This is such an exciting time to be in Ontario.
In Ontario, there's a revolution brewing. In a province where the beer market is heavily dominated by a handful of foreign-owned brewing conglomerates, the Ontario Craft Brewers, a band of independent local brewers, is fighting back. The collective strength of the OCB stems from a common passion to rekindle and keep alive the spirit of traditional brewing, and to quite simply produce fresh, distinctive, great-tasting beer. Throughout history, breweries have been an integral and vital part of their communities, and the beer produced has reflected the pride, passion, and personality of the brewer and the community. The OCB is revitalizing these local brewing traditions.
I think the beauty of what's happening right now in Ontario lies in the ability to put a brewery anywhere in this province to create great local flavor, to link on to local history, to attract beer drinkers that maybe weren't exposed to beer other than national marketing campaigns. So it becomes a very much personal event, and we're really enjoying that fact.
I feel craft brewing is small. Small in that small scale, in that it's human.
Really, it's about community. That's the way I look at the local fresh element of craft beer, is what I do for the person that's seeking a special beer.
People need to realize when you buy a small brewery's beer, you're putting 40% into the local economy.
Many beers are brewed to the lowest common denominator, but the OCB members leverage their flexibility and artisanship to expand a beer drinker's horizons. Their small batches and traditional methods allow them to offer over 170 different brands.
It was very slow down here early on in 2001 to 4. It was very slow for us. And so it was a lot of going out and converting people.
People now are coming back to buying like within 100 miles, buying fresh, buying from the farmers market. And I feel that that's where the craft brewery niche is now.
Our customers are growing every week and every month. It seems more and more people are getting tuned into not just craft-made beer, but locally made beer. And usually the two go hand in hand.
If you look at the numbers, you can see that the craft brewing segment is growing. It certainly is in the States, it is in Canada. People are appreciating different styles. They're appreciating the different things that we can do.
I think what we're seeing in terms of receptiveness from the market in Ontario specifically is there is a growing awareness of craft brewers, and part of the OCB getting the message out, and it certainly does ring to people to try out local brewed beers, especially in this with all the environmental awareness and everything else, trying to buy local, drink local, and eat local too, right?
I think one of our goals as an association of the Ontario Craft Brewers is to really help to build a beer culture in Ontario.
There's lots of things I'd like to say to Ontario beer drinkers. One is thank you for doing so much tasting. I think it's fabulous how quickly things have changed in Ontario.
I think the Ontario craft brewing industry is at a real crossroads right now, and there's a tremendous opportunity for us to grow.
The beers of the Ontario Craft Brewers are brewed in small batches using all-natural quality ingredients without adjuncts or shortcuts. There are no additives and preservatives in their craft beers, and they are all fermented to final gravity without dilution.
The craft brewing industry, to me, means it's fresh, it's local, it's not pasteurized, it's all natural ingredients, and it's good for you.
So craft brewing to anyone who drinks beer should mean that you're drinking beer that's been brewed in small batches. It's brewed with only pure ingredients. So to brew our beer, we only use barley or malted barley, hops, yeast, and water, so we don't put any adjuncts in our beer like rice or corn or sugar, which you would find from larger commercial breweries. Because it's brewed in small amounts, we have a high degree of control over the flavor and quality of our beer. And it's also generally something that's being brewed locally, which is interesting and appealing to a lot of people to see that there's something that's coming from their own community.
What differentiates craft brewing from mass-produced brews? Many different answers in that regard. One of them is, of course, I think the attention to detail, smaller batches, often less compromising on the raw materials, the ingredients that make the flavor, bring out the flavor.
People are starting to realize that, wait a second, this is maybe the way it should be, or this is kind of cool.
Brewing in smaller batches and within strict quality guidelines, the Ontario Craft Brewers can craft traditional styles of beer or be inspired by millennia of brewing history to create new taste adventures for all to experience. The common denominator is flavor.
I really strongly believe that the beer should be consumed very close to the brewery, and local means a lot more than just how far you had to drive. And there's a lot of discovery when you do that. So if you make it a point to go out and hunt down a locally made beer every time you go out somewhere, chances are you'll find a few mediocres, a few okay ones, and then some that just blow your mind, fabulous beers. And you won't get those experiences if you don't continually try new beer. So that would be my message.
Craft beer also emphasizes flavor, so as opposed to playing to, say, I don't want to use this in a derogatory way, but the lowest common denominator of flavor, trying to please everybody at once, craft brewers tend to make unique flavors that appeal to not necessarily everybody, but certainly, hopefully, a lot of people.
It defines our beers. It's all about flavor. The craft industry is about introducing people to new flavors, bigger flavors, more interesting flavors. Some rounder, some sweeter, some hoppier, some fruitier, depends on what goes into your beer.
Craft brewing is, first of all, is an indulgence on our part. We have, all of us really love beer and the various tastes and whatnot, and this allows us to express ourselves through the tastes that we brew. It's very different because from mainstream beer, because it has a very specific taste, and sometimes you don't like it. And that's okay, because all of the craft brewed beers that I know of, not just ours, they do have specific tastes, and that's what we're all looking for. We're looking for a specific taste.
Every day there's more and more people that are waking up and realizing that beer is supposed to have flavor to it, and beer is supposed to be made in small batches, and beer is supposed to be made with high quality ingredients. And the greatest part about it is everybody that figures that out seems compelled to tell at least every single one of their friends, if not random strangers.
The Ontario Craft Brewers continually strive to honor traditional craft brewers through a replication of their time-honored brewing styles, and in so doing, focus on delivering a quality product.
It's about quality, and Ontario people provide quality.
Craft brewing produces a superior product because of the batch size and the attention to detail, and the ability to refine recipes and add specialty ingredients on smaller scales. You get really unique, sometimes one-off, sometimes continuously brewed products that are definitely better made.
Freshness is very, very important to us. We're not shipping beer all over the world or across the nation. So you're getting, at times, we're producing product that is being kegged, and in the same day it's at a tap at one of our local licensees. So you're getting absolutely the freshest product you can get.
It speaks to the care that one takes in building your recipes and in selecting your ingredients, and the hands-on nature of the process. You know, you taste it when it's in steeping in the mash tun, and you know what it tastes like and smells like and looks like in the kettle, and so that you're involved in the process all the way through. But it's about care, and it's about quality ingredients, and it's about quality in that sense.
That's what I really like about craft brewing. It's actually made by people.
Pretty much we all make beer the same way. We all start with barley, hops, water, and yeast. I think the small brewers, we have an advantage because we can do the type of brands, the type of styles that really don't have maybe the mass market appeal. But there is a market for them, but on a much smaller basis. So we can do different styles. We're much more flexible. We can do different styles. We can try different things, and we can introduce them, pull them back, you know, and recreate them all the time.
The craft brewery is a particular brewery. It's a brewery with concentrate on quality. And then to give you an idea, is if you're a chef and you cook for 4 or 5 people, one meal, you concentrate on the product and you concentrate on the quality of what you're cooking. And the same with us. Everything we do is manual, is with the heart, with your hands, with your passion. And that's how you can produce a quality of beer.
There's no need to get into some of the mass-produced methods, the high production volume methods. We do everything usually by hand in small batches, and using, in most cases, all natural ingredients. So I think from that point of view, we can offer the customer something that just isn't there in the mass market beers. There's nothing wrong with those beers. They're fine beers. But we can bring something to the table, so to speak, that those guys can't.
By supporting and buying Ontario craft beers, you're growing a new industry, and I think it's very important to look at any industry out there. Challenge and competition has been very important. It brings about usually a better product, and I'm one of those consumers that's checking all the time for better products.
I think that with rare exception, the beer that we brew in Ontario stands up to that brewed anywhere in the world.
Whether it's recreating the classic beer styles of Europe or putting a unique New World stamp on their brews, what shows most in these Ontario craft brewers is the dedication and the passion they bring to their craft.
Ultimately, everyone who's super happy, satisfied with their job, loves what they do, and like, I don't know if I found making beer or making beer found me, but yeah, it's just it's what I was meant to do.
I love the stuff, man. I love beer and have a passion for it, and these unique seasonal offerings that we've come out with, I think we're sort of conveying our passion through some brands now finally, and Ontarians are picking up on it for sure.
We make beers that are sort of representative of both the demographics of us, the history of the country, the history of kind of the people who have come here, and I think we represent Canada quite well.